Battlefield 1's existence has been a series of ups and downs. There were a lot of fans who weren't impressed with the gameplay and gun mechanics because they were so different from the previous installments of the franchise, namely Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. One of the main issues that I have seen, understandably, is the lack of customization of weapons. Battlefield 1 did away with the weapon customization and instead favored the variant method better. There are plenty of things we could look at that people liked or disliked. However, what I want to talk about today, that I hope they keep doing, is the campaign. This is the way to tell stories. DICE, for the first time in their single-player history, created war stories. These stories branched across the entirety of the world and focused in, though loosely based, on historical figures and battles. You played as these characters and faced their challenges, struggles, loves, and felt their pain and sacrifice. You became emotionally invested in their well-being, which is exactly what a single-player game needs. So why do I feel like stories should continue in further installments? Because it made me aware of other countries' roles in the wars. Seeing the different weapons, their tactics, and their struggles made for compelling gameplay and storytelling. This was innovating for Battlefield 1 single player. You didn't have merely one campaign with a set cast of characters. You had 6. And each of those 6 stories had a myriad of missions to complete. Storm of Steel, the first mission, is used as a prologue. It's set in Western Front in approximately 1918, and you play as an entire tank crew. You play them each at different times. And the setting is a desperate last stand against the incoming German army. And as the story progresses, you do feel severe loss for the crew. Through Mud and Blood, you play as Danny Edwards, a British recruit who just got positioned as the tank driver of the land ship Black Bess. You're new and inexperienced, and your goal is simple to understand but hard to accomplish. Push through the enemy lines with a broken tank and a crew that both dislikes you and doesn't trust you. Friends in High Places, you play as Clyde Blackburn, a sketchy American pilot who pretends to be someone else, namely George Rackham, who was a British pilot, flying behind enemy lines to capture photo images of enemy encampments for strategic purposes, and then ultimately surviving a crash that leaves you to decide the fate of a man. This story leaves you engrossed till the very end. Avanti Savoy is a story where you play as Luca Vincenzo Cocciola from Italy. The story grips you immediately by showing Luca as an old man with a family gathering. He is alone in the attic looking at photos of his brother and wishing he was there. The mission of these stories is about just that, finding your brother after an attack from the Austro-Hungarians and trying to push them back simultaneously out of the Italian Alps. The Runner is a story where you play as Frederick Bishop, a legendary message runner who faced trials in the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. He develops a unique bond with a young recruit, Jack Foster, and eventually is forced into a tight spot. Finally, Nothing is Written, the 6th and final story. You play as Zara Groofman, who is the right-hand woman of Lawrence of Arabia. And both of you are fighting against the Arab revolt, against the Ottoman Empire. You face the struggles, and you ultimately help sabotage an Ottoman armored train. These stories are all detailed and designed to pull you in to the very last end scene. They help you see the unity in different people, The one thing these stories had in common was that they required sacrifice from the characters you played. Nobody had it easy during World War I, and I hope they help us see that nobody had it easy in World War II in the next expansion of the series.